Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions, Season 2! Woo! Yeah, it's been quite a while, quite a hot minute, and we've gone through a lot of things in the recent days, and when this episode comes out, it's finally the first anniversary of the album that changed my life. And God, it changed my life in just a lot of things. And I think about the impact it had on me, and like while I was making a lot of things like be about this certain somebody that I've talked to in like the first episode of the brand new season. Yeah. And like the whirlwind of things that have come out since then, it's really crazy. I'll have you know that. Like, I think there is just so much gratitude to have, and I wanted to reflect on like the things that transpired and what has transpired since, like the aftermath of the album, the process of it, like writing everything. And there's just a lot of things that I wanted to, like talk about now that it's the album's first anniversary. And it was honestly like a whirlwind. And I mean that in every sense of the word. The way it happened is a literal whirlwind of actions and decisions, like mainly impulsive, but still like if I wouldn't if I never did it, like I don't know how I would top this album ever. I wish I could top this. Not even Homecoming could top, not even S1K. I wish I could top this. It's that hard. Like if like I do decide to put out new material, it will not surpass just the magnificence of all these songs. And I call it all these songs because it's just so damn long. Because the entire title of the album is All These Songs Written Just For You. And like, if I say all of that, that would be like confusing. That would literally like roll my head. I would just like go something like that, like you'll see in those cartoons. And I want to take you back to October of 2022, or a little bit farther in September, because I remember like I was just like fresh. Not like a mix of a fresh face and an old one. Because some people do know me, like some of my profs know me. Not this one guy. Number one, I don't think he was aware of me. And like the whole I took a selfie with one of the most famous anchors in the country that I did on my first journalism seminar. That was in 2019. That was me. I took a selfie with like an anchor that I really admired before she jumped ship to another network. And I still admired her a lot to this day. But in September 2022, I was a fresh. I was in the middle. Like, I was in the middle of being a fresh face and being not. Because people know me. People know me. People know that I'm loud. People know that I am a genius. But that would be a stretch, because I'm not. But people know me as a brainy girl. Okay. Because genius would be too much of an overstretch. So I'll just call myself brainy. So... And I had a unique name. Like, if you saw my... my socials, my music socials especially, you would probably question how the hell do I pronounce that. Like, it's usually like, it's usually up for debate. Like, people would call me Gioya. It's like Gioya. It's like an emphasis on every single syllable. And then, like, not sometimes, like, practically all the time, my name is usually misspelled. And I am missing an eye. I have two eyes. I have two eyes. And they're situated, like, they're literally sandwiched. By a letter G, by a letter O, and by a letter A. So these eyes are sandwiched between each other, and it's usually like one of these two eyes missing. It's like Gio A or Go I A. I'm like, huh? Like, people just mistake it a lot. Like, even my profs. Which is pretty funny, because this goes back, like, as recently as this semester, actually. Like, one of my profs that never really taught me before, like, misspells my name. Even though she knows me way, 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 way back when I was still a freshman. And I was like the class representative of our section that time. I was in a different section too, and like, these were my, you know, actual friends or acquaintances. Like, no, they were my classmates, and fair was that. Like, they're, and I see her, like, one of the first messages that, like, she what do you call this, like, she replies with misspells my name, and I'm like, oh no, not again. And then to September 2022, this guy was new, he did not know me, and my friend and I were like joking, like, how will he pronounce my name? That's the question. Like, if he gets my name right, I mean, I think he knows me to some degree. I think he's familiar with me, but, like, he hasn't met me. So I was thinking, like, how do you pronounce that? How do you say that name? And we were joking, like, the one that's from a chocolate brand. Like, usually that's a misspelling of my name. And I take it lightly, because it's a joke. I kind of, like, run around with it, because it's funny. It's like a running gag, I would say. about it being me as a chocolate brand. And I like chocolate a lot. So there's that. And then like I have my camera open. It was on my laptop. Or rather, it was in my brother's laptop, and it was like the very first day of our class with him. And then he mispronounces my name. Like, not again. I was like, I think I was raising my hand. I don't remember much, but like I was like, I don't know if it was an attendance or if it was like an actual discussion. But my camera was open. And I had a green screen. If I remember correctly, I had a green screen. So it was an entirely different picture on the back of my head. And then he mispronounces my name, and I was like out of frame. I was laughing so hard that I was like, oh no, not again. I have to correct my name again. It's like a running joke at this point. I kind of not care, but like I really do, because that's my name, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's my name. And yeah, you mispronounced that again. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm getting tired. Like, you know, the mispronunciation to my name, it's tiring, okay? And then, you know, I correct it like minutes later. But I was literally just laughing my ass off because it was just too funny for me. And then, you know, usual stuff. And then we were like a few weeks in, and then there was this assignment. There was an assignment, and this was on my retake subject. So I had two classes with him, one that was regular class and one that I had to retake because I failed previously. So there's that. So it was in the retake. This assignment was on the retake subject. And we were tasked to like localize. But you know, it's journalism, right? So you have to like make a story local to fit a specific angle. Like do like a different approach that will make you feel closer to the story, or at least that's what I understand it. And if you remember episode 9 of season 1, I talked about it, and I also talked about it in episode 4 of this season, but mostly it was episode 9 of season 1. So if you know the context, that is about that ordeal. And it was actually the first time that I described that experience in detail to a guy. I mean, because I don't usually delve into that part, you know, the specifics of that incident, so I don't really know. So of course, like, I was just scared shitless. So when I was like trying to test things out, so I was kind of hesitating because I don't know if this was gonna be a good story, but it actually like originated from like a much more well-known story um a about an actor that was assaulted by another actor on set, but I felt that it was too off. It needed to be something that's a little closer, so I could actually incorporate my experiences onto it. And I was consulting with him on the topic, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I see." Like, he was just something like that. I could tell from the message, because I like to imagine. I like to imagine what they were, like their faces, like their eyes. I like to picture it when I see their messages. So I was like, okay. I was a bit hesitant because I don't know if it was gonna work. Because I wanted initially a story that's a little more well known, but it felt like too off the rails because it was still the same topic, but it felt just too different, too just far from what my vision of the article was gonna be. And then he was like, okay, I understand, you don't have to force yourself, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be fine. And then he says, and holy shit, this just never leaves my head. It lives in my head rent free. So he says these 6 words: your story is safe with me. And I was like, wow. My jaw dropped to the floor. To the floor. My jaw dropped to the floor. My hairs just went off the roof. I got literal goosebumps all over my body. I still am. I actually still am. I'm getting goosebumps. I was just goose bumping all over my body. Incomprehensible shock. And just sheer admiration. Just pure, unhinged, absolute admiration. I never thought, because I was like, what the hell? I never thought there would be a guy that does not dismiss my concerns and actually encourages me to, like, think about it, but like, actually, no. I am pushing through. And the rest was history. So that's how it began. And I had like some kind of a panic attack, anxiety attack, I don't know, but like immediately after I submitted that assignment, privately, by the way, I was like one of the first people to finish their assignments, but I did not submit it on like the Google Drive folder he provided. I decided he was not really, he just wanted me to submit it privately, so I was like, okay. And then he gave me his email, and then I sent it, and I'm like, okay. That's it. That's where it stops, right? It never stopped. After that, it never stopped. Like, the trajectory just went further up. In that, the following Monday, because our classes or rather my classes with him, were on every Mondays and every Thursdays. One Mondays for the regular class and Thursdays for the retake. So it was Mondays and Thursdays for me. And and like I was up like kind of early because it was like a 7 a.m. class, so I remember I was already on the meet. I wasn't sure of what to do, but I was on the meet, and then like a few minutes before classes began, I decided to get breakfast. But as I was on my way down, because I'm usually in my room when classes happen, so that I don't get disturbed, and it's in my room, so like there is privacy. And I was on my way downstairs, and my legs just felt weak, jelly, like borderline jelly. I was about to slip. I was about to hurt my butt and my back. That's how it felt. And while listening, because I was eating while the class was going on, I was eating my brekkie, but I could not finish it. I just like felt this empty. I was just feeling empty, like devoid of any emotion. It was like I was void of emotion that time. And I was not even listening. I don't remember what the discussion was, but I wasn't even listening. I do participate, but like not really. Not much this time, so yeah. And my hands were shaking. Like, I was holding the plate, and my hands were shaking. I just know that something was wrong. But it all came to a halt when the midterms happened. Like, the midterms was our first time seeing each other face to face. I haven't seen anyone prior to like a few of my classmates when we were shooting a trailer for another midterm exam. And it was my first time seeing him face to face, IRL. The day before, it was our exam on his subject was on a Tuesday. But the day before, I already saw him face to face, and I was like, that's him? Wait, is that him? And I was like, kind of questioning myself. Is he a real guy? Because, up until that point, I was just seeing him on a screen. I don't know if he's a real guy. Or if he even exists. So, this was already a time when I began writing his Teacher's Day tribute, and I added him as a friend. I unfriended him for like a few days, a few weeks. But I remember it being a few days. So at this point, I was a bit unsure of his existence, because it was just a screen. I could only see him through a screen, that's it. And I could only like communicate with him through text messages. Messenger chats, rather. So it was like a whole other dimension. Because every other prof, I knew. I knew them at some point. So, like, he was one of the... No, he was actually, like, the only one I did not know prior to me taking hiatus on my studies for a year. So, yeah. Then our midterms with him happened. This was our first. And I remember just being so out of it. I did wake up really early to like get some reviewing going, but it was all for naught. Because by the time I was at school, I was just feeling like devoid. I was just feeling like a ghost. I don't know if I was pale, but I felt like my body and soul were entirely separate beings. Like, my soul wasn't in this world, you know? Like an otherworldly experience. That's how it felt. And then, yeah, it really all came to a head when the exam proper happened, because the exam proper was just crazy. And we're like thinking, don't panic, please. I beg you, don't have an anxiety attack. Don't have a borderline triggering I mean, just don't have a panic attack in that room. But I did. And that was the story of Omnipotent. Everything that happened in that panic attack was described in Omnipotent, which I wrote the following Saturday. Like the Saturday after that exam. I just finished it in like an hour. But yeah, that was Omnipotent's story. Like, it was really like the most vivid description of the panic attack that happened during that midterm exam. And it was honestly the scariest moment up until I got ditched, of course, but it was still the scariest, because having a panic attack in a classroom is scary. And I was like at the very back of the room, so there was just no one to like help me, you know, like debrief, calm down, nothing. Even if I had earphones on, because I had earphones on throughout like the latter half of the exam proper. Like towards the last 30 minutes, if I remember correctly, like I had to have like earbuds on, cause I was just panicking. I was just really, really lost, and I wanted to like distract myself a little more. I don't want to hear their voices. I don't want to hear anything, just music. And yeah, it kind of helped me. Couldn't even look him in the eye at the time. And I was writing notes. So the memo pad is actually real. Like, me writing on the memo pad was real. That was a real part on the Omnipotent songwriting process. So yeah, that, And it was just so significant because it really kick-started my inspiration to write, my drive to write brand new material, which started with that song. And then If Only was, you know, just really some kind of a reach out. Like if only I could say things to him, I would. And then All These Words was the same. That's why there were the first two songs, and then We'll Be Fine. But then here's the thing. We'll Be Fine was an entirely different story. Because We'll Be Fine was for my best friend. So the thing about this whole situation was, it was like after the midterm exams. I didn't know him, okay? Like, I knew him as, like, at the time, the Jordan Sim advisor. I knew him as that. And nothing beyond that, because he never taught us before. So that was the first time he actually taught us. So yeah. This was written at the time when we were like getting to know each other. And he was like the third person that I opened up to about this ordeal. So former thesis advisor was first, current thesis advisor was second, and he was the third. So he was the third to get to know of the ordeal and the whole situation that transpired this album process, the whole album itself. And we were like beginning to open up to each other. And like what he said to me at the time pissed me off. Like, it really did, and I wish people knew that. It pissed them a lot because it was like, I don't like it when people think like such what do you call this, like they're just pricks, for lack of a better word. They're pricks to think like that. And I was like kind of consoling him at the time. Oh, you know, we were like sharing our opinions between each other, like our worldviews. And he was at a conference. They were all in a conference that time. And he was talking to me about the conference and how this one performer, like, it reminded him of me. Because I felt shy, and like, she was a good performer, but she was shy, and she had like a hunched posture when it comes to performing. I mean, her position whilst performing, you know. And then I shared to him about the song, and he said like, oh wow, that's really good, like, you wrote that for me? I remember that. And yeah. That was how we got close, and that's how We'll Be Fine was created. And the rest of like, and especially like the special edition, was just about the growing crush that I was having with my former thesis advisor. And then the final two were on the regular edition. It's tracks 7 and 8, Remember You and Our Song. But I want to talk about Our Song more because it has more of significance, I guess. Because Our Song was like written because of my profs. All of them. I was watching like I just stumbled upon like clips while I was like stalking their profile. Because I wanted to like look for a picture that had them in it, and then I stumbled upon like this video of a Christmas station ID with them in it, and they were like old pictures of us from before the pandemic happened. And yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Because I just finished it in so little time. And people were like joking that, oh, it's Taylor Swift, but no, it's an original song. Yeah. And then I remember just doing everything by myself. Yeah. I wrote and produced all these songs myself. Every single song on that album. I wrote and composed and sang, of course, but produced as well. Just using a phone. And a guitar, of course, but mostly a phone. Because I didn't know, like, how to record. Like, use an actual digital audio workstation. I don't know. Because I don't have a clue, so I just relied on recording for a phone and my guitar. That was it. And then I finished everything. I did the graphic designs for everything. From the album cover to like the teasers and the schedulers and everything. I did that myself. And then I heavily promoted it. Really. But mostly on the internet. Because I didn't get to promote it much IRL because, you know, we were busy as hell. Because we were already beginning to make our thesis, right? So there's that. And the aftermath of that was just crazy. The rest, as they say, is history. But the title is Because I'll Always Remember You. That's actually a lyric from Remember You. That is track 7 of the regular edition. Because I remember writing that song. It was like the very last song that I finished, but one of the first that I wrote. It was just a few lines, but it was the last song I finished. Because it was just so significant to finish something that is so important and significant on the album, because, you know, you will always remember them. And the reason it was Remember You, I will always remember the man that inspired me to just, you know, be unapologetically myself, not let all the things that, you know, pull you down, hold you back from achieving and chasing whatever it is you dream of. Not because I do this seriously, like music is something that I do seriously. It's just for fun. Like, I just mainly do it for the fun of it. I just produce, I just write music for fun, you know? And honestly, like, I wouldn't have it any other way, cause I used to be unknown. And I used to be like sidelined for so many equally talented and amazing people, but I am talented as well. And like, he was one of the first people to notice the fact. And I remember him saying this when I was consulting with him, like, Joya, you are an exceptionally talented writer. I know that, but you don't have to force yourself to write. Like, you don't have to force yourself to write such a harrowing experience. You don't have to force yourself to recount that, but if you want to anyways, rest assured that I will keep it safe with me. And yeah, that's why the song Remember You, and I want to thank him because he really jump started arguably one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, changes to me as a person. And I've told like one of my bros about this last Thursday, like, I don't want to be boxed into a mold that I know is not for me. I'm a chameleon. I can do everything. And that is not a flex, because, I mean, I know a lot. I can do a lot. Borderline everything. But I am not perfect, and I am going to keep being unapologetically who I am. I don't care if you say anything negative about me. I'm who I am, you know? Like, it just, like, made me break free of, like, my own shackles of me not being seen by other people. Because I want to be seen, but I don't know how. You just want to be seen. And he saw me. And that's the beauty of all these songs. Because you wrote it for someone who saw you for who you are. And despite all the harrowing experiences one has gone through, that someone will see you still in the way that you are, who you are. And I will always remember him and my best friend and everyone in that quaint little office, because they saw me for who I was. And I am forever remembering them for that. Thank you so much, everyone. That is the episode. And I would like to thank you guys for all the love and support that you have given. All these songs written just for you. It is an amazing opportunity to release such an amazing album, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I've enjoyed making it, and so I hope you enjoyed listening to that album. It is out now everywhere on streaming platforms worldwide. Please give it a listen, or just type all these songs were written just for you. My album should come out. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening and watching today's episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions. I hope you enjoyed today's first anniversary remembrance. First anniversary celebration of all these songs written just for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.